Holy shit. Oh, holy fuck, dude. That one is a ripper. YouTube, what is up? We are back with another day. Just got back from Father's Day, just drove back from home. We were supposed to have BP and we were supposed to have League. League was canceled before BP, still had BP. BP'd for about 4 minutes and it torrentially downpoured on us, tornado warning, everything. So when League is canceled, there's probably a reason I was bitching about League being canceled because the sky was clear and then it downpoured on us and we had the tornado warning. And I learned my lesson real quick. So just like you don't talk shit to the weights, you probably shouldn't talk shit to Mother Nature. She'll put you in your place real quick. But yeah, just got back from home. I was back home for Father's Day. We made some ribs and hung out with the family yesterday, but feeling a little groggy from the drive back and just some of the ribs that we ate yesterday. I also think this shingles messed up my immune system more than I even know, dude. I have like terrible allergies right now, dude. I've never had allergies in my entire life. And like yesterday I was absolutely dying. My eyes were like swollen red and I didn't even smoke anything. I was sneezing everywhere. I felt like so weak. It's so crazy how like one thing brings down like your defense system and then everything kind of just moves in. So I'm hoping it's more of a shingles thing and not like I'm just old as fuck now and I got allergies from this moment forward. That'd be really stupid. I've made fun of people with allergies my whole life. My dad specifically, my dad has really bad allergies. I always made fun of him like, oh, you can't even go outside. And now I'm paying the karma for that one. But yeah, dude, I was like squinting like this all day yesterday and today too, feeling that a little bit. So, but other than that, body's feeling good. Didn't really have a high swing day. We did some dry swings upstairs as our like strength training for the swings today. And the goal today is just to hit a heavy 5 rep max incline and then maybe some shoulders and some rowing stuff and just get a pump in today. Probably not a ton of athletic stuff. Again, I'm feeling beat up from the softball tournament for sure. Saturday was supposed to, the Dudley that we talked about on the past video, we were supposed to play most of our games Saturday, really well spaced out, and then have like the championship Sunday or a couple games Sunday. We played 2 games on Saturday, won them both, and then it just downpoured on us Saturday, and we got canceled. So all of our games got moved to Sunday, and we had to play 5 back to back to back, and we only had 10 players, so nobody was sitting. I was playing in the outfield all day in like 9-degree weather, which I enjoy, I do, but the body was torched, was absolutely torched yesterday, and today was feeling a little beat up from there. So we're not gonna do a ton of athletic stuff. We're not gonna do anything with the legs. We're just gonna move and get a pump in. Let's go full meathead today, full Sam Sulik, and kind of crush it from there. And let's see what we come up with today. Hopefully it's a good one. Let's rip. All right, today we are gonna hit a 5 rep max here on the incline press here. Rip those until we're pretty stimulated. I think I'm gonna do the seated shoulder press as the secondary accessory with this one. And then we'll figure out some back stuff to kind of do. I think I'll probably pair the seated shoulder press with some rowing. There's a seated row machine here. Might kind of rip that together and keep going. But we got set 1 here. Warm up set, obviously. But keep ripping until stimulated. Let's get it. All right, set number 2 here. We got our BP session rained out, as I mentioned in the intro. So we just finished up some heavy and light bat swings. So I just took them literally upstairs. I have a 30, I think it's a 36 ounce long bat. I think it's 36 or 34 ounce long bat, and then a 24 ounce light bat. And we just do 3 rounds, 10 swings apiece. Heavy swings with the heavy bat, 10 swings, and then heavy swing or light swings, super over speed with the light bat, and kind of just use that as like our special strength training for the day, our rotational piece for the day. So we're just taking literally daddy hacks there. Again, I think it's good for the inhibition piece to kind of break through some of the barriers that I got with like not feeling it total. We actually had a really good weekend sticking, but just trying to get that next level of swing speed going, and I think it's a really nice strengthening exercise and velocity piece for the swing. It's just doing over and underweighted swings. I think the baseball world does one of the best jobs of using equipment-based constraints. Obviously, equipment is much easier to use in or adjust in baseball than other sports, but even something like I've seen weighted footballs that we've used at our gym that I'm a big fan of. But the weighted footballs, it goes from like a normal size football to like a 3-pound football, which is a massive jump. But I think you can do some things with just like micro loading the football. If you're going to look for some arm strength stuff, there's even some stuff we've done with our QBs where we've thrown baseballs with lighter and heavier balls and kind of worked on some arm speed there. So we'll hit the sec 2 number here and 5 rep max. You're good. You're good. All right, set number 3 here. This is probably going to get heavy pretty quickly. That incline press is, this bench is set up a little bit weird, but incline press just kind of bodies you in general. It's crazy how much heavier it gets when you get a little slight incline compared to regular flat bench, but feeling good, gets the titties popping. Can't ask for much more on a Monday. Let's get it. Let's go. All right, we got set 3 here for the younger YouTube-based audience. If you haven't listened to Lil Wayne's little Sorry for the Wait mixtape, I'm gonna put you on right now. I mean, most people should have listened to it by now, but his little disses in there and lyrics, they're pretty key. You want to be a good meme creator. I think old school rap where they're just dissing each other and coming at each other's lives is a good spot to start. Learning from the best. Set number 3 here. Let's rip it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, shit. He said, Lil Wayne dropped a little line there. He said, you should stop working on your silly little raps and start writing your will. Man, they're coming at each other pretty hard in the rap industry. You make fun of anything in the strength and conditioning industry, and you get come at as like the biggest bully in the world. So there's a little different fields there, but that's why one field's filled with a bunch of millionaires and one field's filled with a bunch of people that don't enjoy their job and work 80 hours a week for not a lot of money. So if you want to reach that next level, maybe be a little bit more like Lil Wayne. Let's get it. We'll hit one more heavy set, and then we'll probably go to these seated shoulder presses and go from there. All right, final set here. Probably going to be a little bit of a grinder. That last one felt decently heavy. After this, I'm going to hit just a lockout ISO. Like might keep the weight and hit 2-minute lockout ISOs where I'm just holding out that lockout position. That's feeling pretty weak on the elbow, so I'll hit the max weight here, or maybe add weight, hold for 2 minutes, stop time, so every time I have to stop, I'll hit the racket and then stop time and then unrack and hit that thing. Ideally, you do it all in one set, but if you can't do it all in one set, it'll take a couple sets and kind of rip from there and kind of hold there, get a little ISO for that locked out position, feel a little bit more stable there. But let's get our 5 first, then go from there. Come on. Oof. Oof. Come on. Come on. Good stuff. All right, take a little break, and we'll hit that 2-minute ISO, locked out at the top, and then we'll go from seated shoulder press, go from there. So I was asked a question, I can't remember if I answered this on the last upper body YouTube series, but it was, what do you think about like picking your butt up off the bench when you're bench pressing? Unless you're a power lifter or like a really in-depth bodybuilder, but again, power lifters and bodybuilders, dudes that are big enough to be asking these questions, aren't asking these questions, right? But talking about the butt leaving the bench when you're bench pressing, right? If you're just an athlete, dude, and it's not causing you pain, or you're just a weekend hero, just trying to just get a lift in and you're just trying to finish your rep, dude, like really, like if your butt leaves, your butt leaves. I teach the bench as a full body exercise, like you're driving with your legs. You should be pretty stable. Everything should be driving through that bar. And I like that better for athletes anyways. Again, if it's excessive arching, it's causing pain, or it's crazy, then maybe we address it, we say something. But typically, if it's just an athlete that I'm training that's just bench pressing and they're just finishing the rep and they drive through with their lower body to finish that rep and their butt leaves the bench, I'm totally okay with that. If you're a power lifter, obviously that's gonna get you DQ'd, so you probably don't wanna do it there. If you're a bodybuilder and you wanna focus on grinding out that chest a little bit more, then you can maybe focus on the minute details. But again, people that are focused on that are at a level where they have to focus on the minute details are probably not asking these questions, right? So if you're an athlete and you're just training, or you're just a weekend warrior and your butt leaves the bench, like your butt left the bench, man. You're just driving with your legs, you get in that lift up and you're finishing it. It's not the end of the world, right? So don't overthink that. Don't overthink about your form. I see way more common that athletes and just lifters are not using their legs at all when they bench press. So if I get somebody hips are driving through and they're actually using the legs, I feel like that's rarer than usually like their legs are like floating, or you can like push their legs and they have no set. They're just completely like a pencil on that bench. So they're benching like this, right? You should be arched, you should be stable, you should be driving through those legs. And if your butt leaves the bench because of that, it leaves the bench because of that. Okay, not too worried about that, not powerlifting here. If we were, obviously that's a different story. But we got 2-minute ISO here, ripping this, holding for as long as possible. Let's get it. Holy fuck, dude. That shit's hard. Halfway there, one more rep. Hopefully get it all in one set. That shit is, that's harder than you would think right there. Your chest is on fire when you're doing that. I think we can maximally load it just a little bit more when we're doing individual reps and not hold it for 2 minutes, even if you're doing just unracks. But man, that tension in the chest and locking that out, that was nice. That felt really good. We're gonna take a 30-second break, and then we're gonna hop back up, finish the last 52 seconds of that ISO. Whoa. Holy shit. Oh, holy fuck, dude. That one is a ripper. The contact rep you can have for the hands and shoulders there too, like not hands, sorry, hands and wrists there too, keeping the locked out position. Man, that could be a money maker if you built that one up and kept that in for your athletes for a little bit of time, just to get them used to holding that position, building up some density in those wrists and hands. I think that's a lot of times you see like farmers with big hands, big wrists. To me, at least that's obviously it's genetics that go into it too. But I think a lot of times when you see an athlete do a thing for thousands and thousands of reps, some things that you want to do in the weight room, it's like ridiculous amount of volume just because it's a lifestyle rather than a lift. How the body reconstructs itself to just be like bigger, stronger in those areas. Again, I see my grandpa with his forearms and his hands and his wrists. They call them Wreck-It Ralph fingers, like his fingers double the size. I really think that's just a lifelong of grabbing and gripping things in sets and reps that are just not realistic to the weight room. Like you're not doing 2 sets of 10 of that exercise, you're doing 2 sets of 20,000 of that exercise Monday through Friday, right? It's just a ridiculous amount of volume, and the body will adapt and reconfigure itself to be able to handle that. And I think you can watch some of Dak's stuff too. He's like reconfiguring what his body physically looks like, not like getting bigger muscles, but like growing, like evolving as a person. And I think a lot of his 1,000 rep schemes, 2-minute ISOs, all those things play a really key role in a lot of that reconfiguring of the body. And I think the more you can kind of touch on those things in the weight room, especially with the athletes where you're giving them something like that, I think the better. But I think that's something where if you did that consistently, progressively overloaded that consistently, you could get some sweet strength in your wrists and hands and grow manly hands. I'm a little gassed there, so kind of rambling with the thought. But we're gonna hit some seated shoulder press, probably pin press, shoulder press it, sitting over there. I haven't messed with that machine yet in a while, so we're gonna mess with that, maybe like 2 to 3 sets of 8, and pair it with some rowing exercise and go from there. Let's get it. All right, so we're gonna hit a couple warm-up sets already. Now we're gonna hit 2 to 3 sets of 8 of this paired with a rowing machine. It's kind of like a zoo in here today, so we're gonna have to find a rowing machine that we can use. We might have to just finish up all of our sets of this, then go upstairs, find a rowing machine that's not broken there, and kind of go from here. So 2 sets of 8, let's rip it. Nice. Might build up. Let's try 185. We're just trying to work up to like a heavy set of 8 here, almost like a true 8 rep max there, and kind of bang it from there. That was lighter than I expected, but I feel like 185 is probably going to be heavier than I expected. But we'll go 185. I like that lockout position. That's nice on the elbow. That feels nice. Being able to kind of stimulate right there and get some blood flow in there. Feels good. So we'll keep ripping those, and I think we're going to find a row machine after. Only reason I'm not doing pull-ups right now recently is just because I've been at Lifetime and I like using the machines. Again, it's given me a little bit of novel stimulus. Once I have interest in pull-ups again and start ripping pull-ups, we'll start doing pull-ups again. So if you are lacking machines, if you are at a spot and you're just trying to get, like, let's say your program says a row, like, go do a pull-up, dude. If your goal is just like get in and out of the weight room, like, you can do this, pair it with some pull-ups. Like, there's always a pull-up bar open here, or just grab a barbell, start rowing the barbell, right? The only reason I'm setting that up is just because I want to use a new machine or get a little pump with that different machine as I'm at Lifetime until I burn myself out of machines and I got more interest in doing other stuff. But if you are a high school kid or a college athlete, I get this so many times, like, don't overcomplicate your program, man. If it's like you're just trying to stimulate the back, go stimulate the back. Go find a way to do it, especially if you're in and out and you're an athlete that has on a time restraints and just trying to get in and out of your workout. Don't set yourself in stone because your program is set a certain way, right? Think stimulus first. What's the stimulus you're trying to get? Trying to get an upper body pressing stimulus in here. I can do this 100 different ways. Trying to get a rowing or back stimulus in, you can do it 1,000 different ways, right? So just go get it done. And if you got the time and you just want to get it a pump in a different way, then you can hit a certain machine or a certain exercise, right? So let's throw 185 on, see how it goes. All right, let's rip, see how heavy this is. Come on. Oh, come on. Whoa, there we go. All right, that's good stimulus there. Let's go upstairs, find a row machine that's open, rip from there. Woo. I think one of my new bits is just gonna be trying exercises that I saw somebody else do before, right after they're done. So there's a bicep curl downstairs that they were doing, and then this kind of setup where they put the double cables onto one attachment here. They brought this attachment up from upstairs. Hit set number 1 of this one. Feels absolutely money. So I'm gonna give this person an 8.5 on their exercise variation here. This is a really good one. It feels nice. This whole pulley machine feels like it's like band resisted. Like as you get farther away, it feels like there's more tension, and I really like that feel. Sometimes when you hook bands up to machines, it makes the machine like a totally different machine. Feels amazing. Some of the machines, like the pulley system, either the pulley system's jacked up or it's just like not the right, doesn't feel like the right pull. And if you hook a band up to it, it can fix that. This one feels like it has like bands hooked up to it. As you get farther away, it gets heavier, and I really like that. So I'm gonna hit 2 sets of 15, 2 more sets of 15 here, and rip the back. Let's do it. That back here, get rounded in there, and then we're pulling. Probably a little too light for like a full send last set, but I like feeling that stretch and not getting too like muscle based, as weird as that sounds. I think sometimes feeling the muscle is better than just like meat hitting the muscle, and just like pulling more with that bicep. Not all the time, and obviously this next set's probably gonna be a little bit more meat head. But when you are doing some of your accessories and warming up on some of your accessories and some of your lighter sets, I think it's worth feeling the movement, feeling the muscle on a little bit lighter. I'm not saying go like 4 out of 10 RPE, but go like 6 out of 10 RPE for a set. Feel the stretch that you're supposed to feel like the pull in the muscle that you're supposed to feel. Hit a set like that, and then the next couple sets you can go like 7 RPE, 8 RPE, work up to a 10 RPE all the way through. Whenever I get to a 10 RPE, it's kind of like snatches. It's just where the bigger, stronger muscles or my more dominant muscles kind of take over. And again, that's not a bad thing. It's not to say that the muscle that you want to hit isn't working. I just think there's time and place to feel the muscle, feel the pull, and I think doing warm-up exercises like that, so now I feel that stretch. I feel the muscle that I want to feel. When I get to heavier sets for me, I feel more sore in the spot that I want to feel more sore in, and it feels like I'm pulling from the right spot rather than biasing kind of the bigger, stronger muscles or my more dominant muscles. So with these, we're gonna hit 2 more sets of a deep chest fly. I'm just gonna find a chest fly machine up here. So we hit kind of like a little bit shorter range of motion with those shoulder press on the second accessory. I wanna get that nice chest stretch, a little bit less triceps, a little bit more chest, a little hypertrophy piece there. So I'll hit a set of that. I'll record the second set here, and then I'll record the last set on there. So let's keep ripping, let's get it. Last set here, need some chest flies. Let's do it. All right, that was a good one. Good set there. Let's get to the chest flies and maybe some arms. We'll kind of figure out what we're doing from there. Got a little bit of time left. Let's do it. Like I was saying, this place is kind of a zoo today. Every machine's kind of taken, so we're kind of making it up for our chest fly variation. This one isn't the best one, but it's not the worst one. It felt kind of cool. We're gonna go split stance, single arm pull here, and pull deep range of motion, squeeze at the top. Come on back here. I'm really just trying to feel this end range start to trigger from there. And then pull without that bicep taking over too much. I'm gonna adjust just a little bit to find that pull. We got 12 reps here. Rip it. It's like discus chest flies there. Felt pretty good. Felt like we did a little stretch. I'm just trying to work on that. Again, the stretch here, that deep range of motion, opening that up, and that shoulder. This one feels decent for it. Bicep kind of takes over a little bit too much for my liking, but again, it's kind of the only chest fly machine we got here. So we're doing what we can do with what we got, making the most of our opportunities here. Gonna come this way a little bit. Ooh. Ooh. All right, yeah. First couple reps feels really good there as I got high up into like 14, 15. Elbow started to kind of take over, especially on that left arm with that elbows in there. Wasn't the best one ever, but wasn't the worst one. Chest still feels like it's pumping. So we'll, I want to find something else to do. I got like 20 minutes before I got to go. So I'll find maybe some arms and triceps to rip, and then we'll get out of here. Let's do it. So second variation of copy what you saw the dude at Lifetime do before you. Absolutely terrible. He was doing these curls with the cable riding up his butt cheeks. A little sussy. I'm sorry, I'm all for sus if it leads to gains, but it was less of a line of pull and more cable up your ass. So wasn't as cool. So we're just gonna switch it around and hit it from this angle here. 12, similar to the ones we did the other day when the power went out. We got 12 of these, 3 rounds of 12. 12's too light. We're gonna hit more. There we go. All right, with these, we're gonna hit some triceps and then end with some spine flows. With these triceps, we're going long rope. Goal here, we're gonna go split stance. I'm just trying to get that last little bit of the tricep. I see a lot of times with triceps, and I'm guilty of it too when I'm going heavy. It's like we don't really lock it out. We kind of get like most of the tricep, we don't get that last little bit tricep flexion where you feel like that knife is stabbing into that tricep. So we're gonna hit that here. We're gonna go lighter than normal. We're gonna go long rope, grab at the end of the rope. We're gonna go as deep as we can here, all the way there, and then really kick that behind you. Feel that deep in the tricep. We have 15 of these. Ooh. hit one more round of that off camera, and then we'll hit some spinal flows, and we'll get out of here. So we're just hitting, gonna end with 100 twist here. I already hit set of 25 just to make sure this box and camera angle would set up. We're just gonna be here, twisting side to side. Range of strength kind of brought these back in. We've obviously been big fans of twisting and bending motions, but just high rep motions. So we're just gonna grab here. We're just twisting back and forth, 100 total reps. Big believer that movements that cause pain because you haven't gone there, you haven't built up that range of motion, right? So if your spine doesn't like bending, I think one of the best ways to get your spine to bend and twist is to bend and twist it, right? And do so at a low intensity, high frequency, high volume type of way, right? So for a lot of people, 100 reps might be too much here. Maybe we hit 2 sets of 10 just to get them started moving this way. But once you're able to continually build up this range of motion, it's like you twist 100 times, your body's gonna realize, okay, twist 100 times at low intensity, I can handle that. I'm not too beat up, I'm not too sore, I'm not gonna lock up that range of motion, I'm not gonna send a pain signal in that range of motion, and I'm gonna be fine there, right? For athletes, right, the more frequency and volume we can build up into range of motions that athletes struggle in and they need access to, so like any rotational athlete ever needs to be able to rotate, obviously, the smoother you can get them into these positions where they don't have inhibition, where they're not like getting stuck in certain positions or having trouble there, I think the better. And I think high frequency, high volume with low intensity to start is a great way to do that. And obviously softball, this is important for me too. So if I have a tight lower back or anything like that, typically I'll hit a really high volume day of twist at low intensity the next day just to kind of free it up and get some blood flow in there and just let the body know that it's okay to go into these positions without causing pain. So I'm gonna shut up here and finish my twist. Just had a big crack there. Range of motion opened up and we're about 50 reps in. Right? So a lot of times it'll take a high frequency, high volume approach to even like access some range of motion that you didn't even know you had before. Obviously it's the same as stretching. You know, a lot of stretching guys talk about like you're not even starting to get into the range of motion you need to get into, so you're like 2 minutes in. And if you follow any like crazy stretching programs, like they have you hold shit for like 10 minutes. It's kind of wild. I think it's gymnastics. Shit, I can't remember the gymnastics program I was doing during COVID. It's a really big one. I'll figure out the name of it. But yeah, all of their stretching routines, it was like a 2-minute hold was their warm up just to get you into like starting to open up into the range of motion they want you to get there. And then in your working sets, your working volume, you're really pushing that range of motion. And that's like an extra 2 to 8 minutes there. And that's where you're finally starting to stretch your extremes of what you were capable of before. And I think the same things here with the spine. Again, I was 50 reps in, I felt the click. And now we got a little bit more range of motion than we had before. And for some athletes, that tiny range of motion, you think about like a swing, you open up like even a centimeter or an inch. I mean, that's just a ridiculous amount of more torque that you have on the ball and the bats to open up. Obviously, you still have to use that in your sport and have the abilities to use it, but range of motion matters, man. And you talk about injury prevention, all that type of stuff, but specifically like throwing and hitting events, the longer you are, the more you can coil, the better. So we're gonna finish up 25 more. Boom. All right. Just like that. That's a pretty good day. Feeling good, feeling juiced up. Another thing I'll do with that kind of range of motion is same as like the kind of pre-fatigue method I was talking about with those rows, or for like the first set, you want to feel that, right? So when I go into like a BP session, one of the stretches I'll do is it's like this javelin stretch where I'll grab on to the fence and I'll twist really, really hard, keep the upper body back, and I'll feel the end position, kind of bias the end position I'm looking for in my swing. I will do that before my swing. And I've personally found it to be super effective to kind of ingrain the pattern that I want. And I find myself, if I'm starting to feel like my hands are drifting too far forward, I'm not feeling that disconnect into that snap, a lot of times I need to just go bias it or just remind myself of that position that I don't want to find myself into. I'll hold that ISO right before the skill, and then I'll go do the skill. So that's another way that you could do this. If you feel like locked up in your swing or locked up in your throw, do a high frequency spinal flow before you throw. One, you're just going to feel better, feel more warmed up, but you might find something that's like, oh, this is the position I want to coil into and feel out of and throw out of, and then I'm finding that in my warm-up. I'm biasing that in my warm-up, and now I can find it in my throw. Again, I think some of athletics, at least a little piece of athletics, is feel. And I think the greatest athletes feel very internally. They have like minute feel based, and you don't want a super neurotic athlete feeling everything or focusing on every feel. But I think there's certain times where feeling a position, biasing a position that you want to feel, and then not thinking about it when you're swinging. Again, that's why you want to bias it. You don't want to think about feeling that position. I want to feel that position before in a more controlled environment. Then I'll go to my chaos-based environment, just let it happen, and like, oh, okay, I felt that, or I didn't feel that. I need to go bias it in a different way or use a different drill. But I think, again, that's a good point of drills. It's like, the drill is not to make you think or move a certain way. It's to bias certain positions, right? So then when you actually go do it, you don't want to think about the drill. You don't want to think about that ball underneath your elbow to keep that elbow high. You've already felt it. You've already programmed the body. Your body's a computer, right? That brain is a computer. It's downloading these programs. Then you just want to run that program. You don't want to think about clicking on that program and keeping it open and working on that certain drill in the actual swing. They're two different things, right? The drill is to bias the program that you want to run during the thing. So that's some of the things that I think about in sports performance and how you can kind of tie it up. I'm going to no Lifetime smoothie today. I brought my own smoothie, so I saved myself about $15 there. I'm gonna go chug that and sit in a steam room for like 40 minutes and edit this video, go from there. Appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys sticking with me for this meathead lift and a little less on the philosophical side, but I think there's some gold in there. This is probably one of my favorite workout fits I've had in a while, and felt good. I think that's probably a good point too. Like, if you look good going into your workouts, you're probably gonna crush that workout. I felt like I looked good today. I felt this pump cover that I stole from my dad from Father's Day looked good on me, and I ripped today's workout. Felt good, felt confident the whole time I was doing it, and we're ripping from here. So yeah, gonna go edit this video. Appreciate you guys watching. Keep chopping wood. Let's go.